Look up. Right now, somewhere inside a summer storm, a piece of ice smaller than a grain of salt just froze onto a speck of dust. Give it a face. Because the biggest ones like it grow into cannonballs of solid ice, and they do the whole thing without ever landing once. So why does it not just fall? Because underneath, it is a river of air pointing straight up. In a big storm, that updraft can top 100 miles an hour. That is fast enough to hold a bowling ball in midair. So our little stone does not drop. It hangs there, in the cold, and it waits. And the cloud it is hanging in is a trap. It is full of water that is colder than freezing but still liquid, just waiting for something to touch. Our hailstone is that something. Every drop that hits it freezes on the spot. Layer after layer after layer. It is not falling. It is eating. Now slice one open. You get rings. Clear ice, then cloudy ice, then clear again. And here is the story everyone tells. Count the rings, like counting the rings of a tree, and you get the number of times it rode up and down through the storm. It is a beautiful story. It is also wrong. The rings are not trips. Freeze the water fast, and the air gets trapped inside, and the ice turns cloudy. Freeze it slow, and the air escapes, and the ice turns clear. The rings are a record of how cold and how wet it was, not how many laps it did. The real path is messy and sideways, through a leaning, spinning tower of wind. Nobody counts the trips. Nobody can. But growing has a cost. The heavier our stone gets, the harder that river of air has to push just to keep it up. A small stone, any storm can hold. A giant needs a monster. So when you see a truly enormous hailstone, you are not just looking at ice. You are looking at proof that the storm that made it was violent enough to juggle a rock. So how big can they get? The biggest one ever caught in America fell on Vivian, South Dakota, in July 2010, 8 inches across, nearly 2 pounds. A ball of ice heavier than a full can of soup that had been floating in the sky. And a different one that fell on Aurora, Nebraska, still holds the record for the widest way around, almost 19 inches. These stones were not falling. They were being held up. And then, one way or another, it loses. Too heavy for even that updraft, our stone gets shoved out the side, and finally, it falls. Small hail drifts down under 25 miles an hour. But the giants come screaming in at over 100, and every year, hail smashes somewhere around $8 to $15 billion of roofs and cars and crops across the country. Our speck of dust, only minutes old, hits the ground like a wrecking ball. It never rode a neat elevator up and down. It just grew, in the cold, in the dark, and fell once.